You had a guy twerking in his underwear in front of kids. I agreed to come into a room surrounded by 20 libs.
Here you are.
In this episode, Michael Knowles debates 25 LGBTQ plus supporters on whether or not pride parades should be banned. Watch.
My next claim is that pride parades should be banned.
I'm so fast, you guys.
That was fast.
Oh man,
Hi.
Not everybody at once.
Nice to meet you, Ryan.
You as well.
So, go on.
I think they ought to be banned.
Go on.
That's my
Why?
claim. Well, because they're disgusting.
He just made a poignant argument, and that is that pride parades are disgusting. He's not being disrespectful or hateful by saying that. It's true. Take a look at some of this content. See it for yourself? It's plain. It is disgusting. Watch.
I don't think that my grandmother or my kids or even myself should be forced to see these obscene displays in public.
Fascinating. When were you forced last to go to a pride parade?
Well, if I'm to walk down Main Street, in many cities in this country, I would be forced for much of the month of June. It seems to have metastasized, so it's not just a day, it's a week, it's a month, it's 2 months. I would be forced to see these kinds of displays, unless I wanted to remain a shut-in and see the public square.
So are there any other
wanna
things
do.
that happen in public that you find objectionable that you don't want to have to be exposed to?
Yeah.
Like what?
Women driving too slowly in front of me, that bothers me, but I'm not going to take away women's driver's licenses. But I would say, like the 2024 Pride Parade in San Francisco, when two grown men were urinating on each other in a kiddie pool in front of kids, I think that should be banned. I don't think that's unreasonable.
Yes, it should be.
I want to make a distinction here between that way. Yeah, by the way, that is the thing you have to
They
be
do
in
say it's wholesome.
Yeah, that's
They
not.
do say it's wholesome.
Yeah, no.
There are a lot of
I
examples.
got to give you this though. You
Yeah.
are so good at redirecting 3% in the middle of someone else's good point, and I would love to
Am
do
I?
less.
I'm
Yes.
waiting for some good points, but please enlighten me.
I got you. So the concept of pride is a lot larger than extreme things you might see on the outlier of the scale of things that happen on Pride. Now, I will grant you that there have been things that happen at Pride, like many other kinds of festivals, that maybe you don't want your kids exposed to, which is why you don't take your kids to them. But
No, but
Pride
they're
is,
often
but I'll
marketed
let you
as
know,
family-friendly,
well,
like the West
I'll let
Hollywood
you-
one.
Let me finish. Pride as a whole is about a community of people who have been denied, like you're real good at, existence of for most of time.
Denied existence? What does
Yes,
that
yeah.
mean?
Okay, fine. Public existence. We've been denied the access to being ourselves in public. So, which is an essential
No.
thing. So Pride celebrations are essentially an act of resistance to that and an opportunity for us to come together and be seen, which many of us don't feel safe doing alone. Now, on the corners of things like Pride, sometimes something happens that I don't want to see.
Sometimes on the main stage.
You sure? Listen, I'm not saying objectionable things never happen.
Yeah.
But you make
They often happen, actually.
No. Wait, how many? You don't spend a lot of time at Prides, do you?
I don't, but I read the news and I see the main streets
yeah,
of cities.
well, all right. Let me just be clear as somebody who has been to many.
Yeah.
What you're describing is statistically insignificant.
Well, it's significant to the people who have to see the
what you're
obscenity.
describing. The occurrences are
Yeah.
statistically insignificant. So you're taking this thing that happens like 0.0002% of the time and
Well,
applying it to the
seems
whole
like a
thing.
little bit more.
I know you think that, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you you're wrong.
What's your evidence that I'm wrong? Because I can cite to you all the examples.
Sure, and I can cite to you a bajillion examples of inconsequential pride parades. That goes both ways.
Of inconsequential?
Didn't it happen? It went. Nothing crazy happened. And
Maybe.
nobody
I mean,
cared.
just within the last 2 years, I mentioned
Yeah.
the San Francisco thing, which you'll say, well, that's something else. Okay.
It is.
Well, New York City, when the naked guys are riding on the bikes. Minneapolis Pride. You had a guy twerking in his underwear in front of kids. Governor Tim Walz showed up to that parade. Yeah, happily, I'm not a Minnesota citizen. If you look at, even in West Hollywood, not too far from where we are now, at a supposedly family-friendly Pride event, there was a man, almost naked, who was being choked and whipped by a guy wearing leather, almost like he was a member of the Biden administration. It was totally obscene and inappropriate.
So I hear your point.
I could go on.
I know you could go on. And here's the thing that I find really interesting about this. You have great anecdotes. Anecdotes are not data.
Well, you don't
Now-
have data either.
Well, the difference between us is I'm not trying to pretend I have specific data. I don't. I'm telling you, if you take the lived experiences of these 20-something people who are all telling you,
Which are anecdotes.
yes, More than yours.
Okay, so
but here's
how
the
are they
thing.
more anecdotal than mine? They were just
by
anecdotes.
Volume. By volume.
By volume.
Yes. But
Got
here's
it.
the thing.
We need to get more
Well,
conservatives into this room. I agreed to come into a room surrounded by 20 libs.
Here you are.
Right.
You have a point that things happen that you don't like to see.
That are obscene.
Sure.
Pride parades are filled with decadence and they are obscene. And to go around the country and to force the American people to have to watch and witness what people do sexually, at times privately at home, to have to watch that in the streets and to call it family friendly is corrupt. This is what the Bible has to say about pride. Proverbs 16:18 says this: pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 11:2 says, when pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Proverbs 29:23 says, pride brings a person low, but the lowly in spirit gain honor. Proverbs 8:13 says, to fear the Lord is to hate evil. I hate pride and arrogance, evil behavior, and perverse speech. Proverbs 13:10a says, by pride comes nothing but strife. Proverbs 28:25a says, he who is of a proud heart stirs up strife. Now, why do we want to celebrate pride when it's one of the most deadliest sins in the first place? Watch.
You are not speaking as in reference to the majority of what pride is. Now, we can disagree about that, I'm right, but if your contention is, well, I disagree, most of it's obscene, there's nothing to talk about. You're just wrong.
So would you agree with me? Oh, you're out. All right.
Good job. See you later.
You got it. All right.
I feel as though a lot of your claims today have been backed by this energy that you just want to erase LGBTQI plus people in our history.
Where do you get that from?
From your perspective on a lot of the trans.
Because I'll tell you what, all I've been doing, I've just been coming here and citing historical examples and citing a lot of scientific studies and telling you explicitly that I'm talking about an ideology that I think is not conducive to the flourishing of anyone, and for the good of everyone, including you guys, I would like to see a restoration of sensibility. And every time I say something like that, you say, nah, man, I just kind of feel the vibes that you hate us and want to erase us all. And I don't know where you're getting that from.
Let's join your side and let's say, you know what, let's say everyone should follow your lead, and let's say as a society we should ban pride, and let's say as a society we should eradicate trans people.
Transgenderism, again, I think you're
point,
being obtuse here.
Transgenderism encapsulates everything LGBTQI plus, just in
No, it doesn't.
It's just an idea that a boy can become a girl, which isn't true. And I think we should forget about that so that people, including the ones who think that they're the opposite sex, can flourish again.
You have the L, lesbian, gay is the G, B is the bisexual, and then you have the T for trans. We all know, and even many people who are lesbian or gay, they are upset with what the trans movement has done to the alphabet mafia. He's duped. Let it roll.
So you would agree with me when I say by eradicating transgenderism, you would also eradicate the history of trans people, just in general.
Well, you can read it. You can. We can eradicate.
Here in this room today because of Black trans women and because of.
I am not in this room because of Black trans women. I can promise.
Why are you in this room then?
Because I was invited on this podcast
to advocate
explain
what exactly.
He's in this room because of Black trans women? That makes no sense at all. A Black trans woman is nothing more than a man. Do you want to see what a real Black woman looks like? Honey, come here for a moment. I'm going to show you what a real Black woman looks like. Even when I show you a real Black woman, that doesn't mean that he's now given acceptance to this room because of someone who was Black. He was invited on the Jubilee show to debate 25 LGBTQIA plus friendly people. That is the only reason. So this is a real Black woman. I mean, this stuff, it never gets old. Someone make it make sense. All right, let it roll.
The hate speech, the rhetoric that you spread on your little YouTube channel.
No, just to advocate truth and sensibility.
He actually has a
The truth of
massive
the matter is you're surrounded
YouTube
by
channel.
25 really proud LGBTQIA people who do not give a f- about you.
You obviously do.
And-
You're here talking to me. What are you talking about? You obviously care what I have to
because
say.
you give
You're
such
sitting
a hard
6 inches from
about
me.
us.
I just want to be on YouTube, Michael.
Yeah. Some just want to be on YouTube. No, I'll tell you what.
Yes, they do.
We
Getting
can.
obsessed. And it's harmful when in history, but also today. This month alone,
who
our entire government is run by straight white men who are hurting these communities.
Oh,
and I know you
gosh.
live on a pedestal, and you were able to put on your little...
And see, there it is again. They hate the patriarchy. Marxist atheists who are hell-bent on robbing men of their masculinity and making women more masculine. These people hate the patriarchy. That's all cultural Marxism. It's intentional, it's a plan, and he's not offering any arguments. There's been no arguments that he's offered. It's all feelings. When he started out, he said, I feel. And then he starts to talk about the harmful rhetoric of Michael Knowles. There's been nothing that he said that is harmful. Now, truth is aggressive because truth is a train wreck. But instead of telling people what they want to hear, shouldn't we offer people the truth? Watch.
You were able to put on your little suit today
Live
and
on a
spray on
pedestal.
your little cologne.
It's very nice. I didn't put on any cologne. That's just my musk.
The Musk.
Wait, hold on.
Correction, you should have.
Oh, wow. Real nice.
Exactly.
Real
Now,
nice.
this is a world where you had to put on a dress.
I mean, what's wrong with cologne, man? I wear some. I mean, come on, man. Why you hating on cologne, bruh?
And you had to put on heels.
I'd prefer not to. Yeah, I don't think I would do that.
So what do you do about the people in society who have to put on their suit to live and who have to have a wife to live? Because
I don't understand.
Have
what
to
you're
put
asking.
on a suit to live.
no matter what
Huh?
you feel deep
I
inside,
don't-
according to your views, people
I don't think anyone should be forced to be married or.
You're telling me you just spent your entire last 3 hours talking about how my people, men, should not be dressed in gowns.
I think you're
and dresses.
dressed fine. You're wearing a big
And so what
T-shirt.
if I wore
don't know, and I
a
like your
skirt today?
crucifix. I would.
Do you
I
need
would
me to show
discourage
you.
you.
The thong that I'm wearing underneath.
I
this
would.
to
I
prove a
would.
point?
I would. I don't.
What? Too much information. No one cares about your thong, your butt plug, your, I don't know, your cock ring or whatever, bro. What are you talking about? And see, that is why pride parades and the likes should be banned because they want to force everyone to see them in a sexual way. When at the end of the day, when I'm walking down the street, I can care less about a dude in a thong. Now, me seeing my wife in a thong, that's a whole nother conversation right there. We can do a 2-hour segment on that. But no, bro, I don't want to see you in a thong. Watch.
I would suggest you not do that, but I don't really care that much.
So let's just go back to the point at hand.
Yeah. What is the
Eradicating
point?
What is the point?
Idiotic claim that we should
What is the point?
stop LGBTQ pride.
No, I guess. You're out. You're out, pal.
You're out, pal. Look at him. Oh, getting all sassy. You out of here.
Sorry, guys.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Doing very well.
All right, great to speak.
Like, this girl is more masculine than the last guy
Pride
that came
Parade
up to
should be
talk.
banned, as you're
So sad.
correct.
Yes.
Okay, I can meet some middle ground with you. Sorry, guys. I think Pride has kind of became a bad representation of what our community is.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not all
Truthful.
just like sex toys and leather.
Yeah, right. Right.
Unfortunately, which is why I think most conservatives kind of are completely on the other side. It's like the pendulum swing. Is that
Yeah,
how you
yeah,
say it?
yeah.
Okay, so like one side of the coin is pretty much that LGBT, we have fought so hard for our rights. We kind of leaned so far one way, whereas like now, we've kind of accepted too much,
Yeah.
right? As far as like we're so open-minded that
Our brains fell out.
You could say that
Yeah.
in some aspect. However, it doesn't take away the fact that, there's still gay people that exist. I don't think pride parades should be banned. However, I think we should portray a different image of it.
Yeah, I think you're quite right. For all of history and everywhere in the world, there have been people who are a little odd, or they have desires that are not the mainstream. And so I get it. I'm not saying we need to totally deny that or, toss people out of society or anything. It's just, I said we should eradicate the transgender ideology. Yeah, which is a false account of human nature. But yeah, I think you can. If you can separate the war on poverty from, a war on poor people, I think you probably could. Well, you had the most sensible take of anyone. Pleasure to speak to you. Yeah.
All right.
It wasn't even close. Pleasure to meet you. Hi.
Okay, so is your main issue with the pride parades the nudity and obscenity?
The obscenity is a big issue with it. I also don't think that as a society we ought to be celebrating the deadliest of the 7 deadly sins, namely pride.
True.
Not even the sex stuff, but just pride.
Okay.
I just think that's kind of weird.
Proverbs chapter 6, verses 16 through 19, it gives 7 things that God calls detestable. It says, there are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush to evil, a false witness who pours out lies, and a person who stirs up conflict in the community. When it speaks of haughty eyes, it speaks of pride. Michael Knowles is biblically sound. Watch.
In America, we used to have celebrations of like Christmas or Easter or even Thanksgiving. And now those have been pushed out of the public square, and we've been told that we're a secular country and we're not. No, there have been many lawsuits in recent decades. And so we've been told that we're not permitted to have these kinds of big displays. But what has replaced the traditional liturgical calendar is this kind of secular liturgical calendar where now we celebrate the great Feast of Pride. And I just don't think one needs to feel pride in one's sexual behaviors.
Right.
Okay, but it's not just about sexual behavior, it's about love. It's about, I would say it's mainly about love. I don't go around talking about my sexuality in a form where I'm like, oh, I have sex with women. I say that I love women.
But you love your family, you love your neighbors, you love your friends. You don't have big parades for them. You're specifically talking about love in a romantic and, dare I suggest, sexual context.
Okay, so you think that they should be shut down just because you think that they are disgusting?
Well, I think they're legally obscene, so I think there's
Correct.
actually a legal predicate to shut them down. But I also think broadly they're just sort of disreputable and odd, and I don't think that that's the sort of thing we should celebrate on Main Street. Maybe on some sort of side street if you want to have a party. But I have a right to Main Street, because I'm a citizen.
Yeah, but you don't.
My grandma has a right to go to the grocery store and walk down the street
There's
and not be
plenty of
accosted.
grocery stores.
Yeah, well, she
You
has the
don't
right
have to go to the
She has
ones
the
by
right to go to the
parades.
one that she likes downtown.
KKK has a right to protest.
Yeah, oddly enough, I would actually, someone just suggested the KKK has a right to protest. I would be more willing to circumscribe the supposed free speech rights of people. But in that case, courts have found that they have some right. But there's no right for, leather daddies to smack each other in a kiddie pool or something.
But that's not everything that happens at pride parades.
But
We're
it
taking
happens
one
so
single
consistently.
Not the leather
I'm citing
daddies.
Examples from San Francisco, New York, Oslo, Toronto, Minneapolis, West Hollywood. At what point do we see a pattern here?
There can be a pattern, but it doesn't mean that that's all that happens at these parades.
Well, I'm sure people make, ham sandwiches too, but that's not the part that anyone has a problem with. It's the sexual displays. Yeah.
Nobody said they can't cite people for doing something lewd and still have a pride parade.
Yeah. And you've also said that correct me if I'm wrong.
People often aren't cited for lewd acts. But
Correct me
yes,
if I'm
continue.
wrong, but somebody else came up here and you said that you don't think that the obscenity and the pride can be separated. You don't think that that's something that people can do?
In principle, they could be separated. But even then, it would raise the question, why are we celebrating one particular or several particular kinds of sexual arrangements? Why are we celebrating sexual arrangements at all?
Because we're
on Main Street?
celebrating love. That's the thing. You take
Should we have a parade for the love I have for my Aunt Gertrude?
yeah, sure.
We should.
If you would feel
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that deserves a parade down Main Street.
okay, that's okay.
I think actually just if you're having a loving relationship or even a relationship you perceive as loving, you can just sort of enjoy that. And it doesn't need to become a big display down Main Street.
All right, so what do you think? Is Michael Knowles right or wrong? Is he weak or is he strong? Should pride parades be banned? Let me know. Be so kind to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. And stick around for more content. God bless you, and God bless America.